Welcome back once again to Spirituality with a Spin. I am Ryan Keys, your host. Oh my God. Can you feel that in the air? Just sit for a second. I've got goosebumps right now. I don't know if you've got goosebumps at home. My lights just flickered. So in the video I posted yesterday, when I'm talking about past lives, one of my dear friends pointed out there's an orb that goes through there right by my pocket. Coincidence? I think not. You have free will, yes you do. But before you started this game, you knew the rules, you knew the time limits, you knew the other teams, you knew the field, you knew where to go, and you knew the goal. Now you just gotta play. Sometimes we sit back and we think things are so pivotal and serious each moment, and they are, but they aren't. Think of it being sensitive. When this person said, Ryan, you're just too sensitive. I said, good God, man, I can't ever be too sensitive. Never. I'm myself experiencing the senses. I am synchronized. I am letting myself synthesize to my own song, so let me sense everything. My height of sight, the beauty that I can hear with my ears, what I can touch with my hands, what I can taste, what I can smell. All those things going through in this 3D dimensional machine that is living, breathing. When I breathe in that breath, I'm taking in that female energy. When I'm exhaling that male energy. Think of it, even the breath links you to life. Do you know that? The breath links you to life. And as you breathe, so do things come into your life like a wave, like a cycle. When you're taking in that air, you're pulling in the byproduct of what this planet has to give you, the gifts of this garden, and you are manufacturing that, taking that, and then you're turning it into something that they can use. You're giving back male energy. You are a walking, talking twosome. So that's why I say, let's discover the twin within, and then everything else will fall into place. Because until you are truly looking inside, the outside will never change. Let me say that again. Until you look truly inside, the outside will never change. And remember, empathy is putting you in the present. Empathy is empowering people. Empathy is putting you in the here and now. Sympathy is the past. Sympathy is identifying with pain. And pain has its place. But when you want to be here, you need to empower yourself to be in the present and let the past be a catapult to push you forward. Let the past linger where it needs to, but don't get lost in it. You have to make sure that your intent and your intention is associated with truth, with heart, with understanding that the world is multi-layered and that those layers all are founded on love, your source, your soul. You are part of the all. The good God that made you, made me, made everything you see. And I'm not telling you a religion, I'm telling you a vision, right? Don't get mixed up in the two. A religion is made by man, a vision is what's had inside of yourself. There's a wonderful man that I want to work with, this man David Coombs up in Santa Barbara, who is an African tribal medicine man from South Africa and a urologist MD. Brilliant man. He made a comment in something that he said. He said that an African Sonoma will not tell you what God is or what your vision is or what the truth is, because that is your truth and you have to see it through yourself. Do you understand? Do you see where I'm headed with this? You have the glass. We are all the water. It is your responsibility to clean that cup when that life is poured in. Now, what did you contract? What are you associated with? What are these wonderful spiritual bodies that are around you? I worked with a wonderful person yesterday, and we were talking about moving forward with advice, with advancing. And then I said, You want to be here in the present? Remember that everyone that is behind you that has left your life is still here, because time is only linear in the body. It's only a layer of the living. So if you want to sit down and talk to those people that have passed on and have those people influence your life with a correct path, with a passion to be in the present, if you want your ancestors here now, just pay them a little respect. Ask them to help you out. Like that orb dropping down through my pocket when I'm talking about past lives. My near-death was an experience that put me onto a path like an ayahuasca experience. It opened my eyes to the other side, gave me a confidence to come forward, to begin to unfold my layers, so that I knew that the world of the living is not the only layer. It's just the layer where I'm learning who to be I should be, and who to be the person that I am and the soul that I always was, right? A culmination of conversations, a culmination of contracts, a culmination of creation operating in a vessel where the creators become the created, where synchronicity is noble. Carl Jung, back in 1951, coined the term of synchronicity, right? Something happens in the world around us, and it defies probability and normal explanation, and it is in the air. It is part of the ether. It is part of the ever, the all, the understanding that links us all together, that inner wisdom, the tool for quick and ready insight, that gut feeling, that sixth sense, the one that pioneers you into the 4D, that hunch, the stillness, the inner voice, the magical switch that cuts on when you need a counselor. Hello. Inner wisdom, intuitive information from your ancestors, because they have no season. They have no time. When you leave this moment, you're already in the moment before and after. Because of the layers, the only layer that is responsible for holding time is the layer that you live in, the flesh. So when you hear this, you need a totem. You need a totem to pull you out of it. You need an additional plant medicine to pull you into it. I need a crystal. I need bones. I need a totem pole. I need a wand. I need a guide. Because my mind is unable to see the connection of source to self, to the everything. I'm not able to recognize the nuances of all the vibration that links us together. Like when Keanu Reeves' character Neo in The Matrix looks around and begins to see the numbers floating through everything, the binary code that exists in all. Now, it's probably not going to look like that. That's just an interpretation. But look at it in that same way. When you begin to unfold and when you begin to see, when synchronicity begins to trigger your sight, when you begin to understand that you no longer need a crystal or you no longer need to burn sage because you are already there. You are already living in that present moment. You came with the Toltec wisdom because you were the Toltecs. The distance that you feel from the people that you love or the people that have come into your life or the people that you have lost is only distance because of the body. The body is the sheath. It is the veil. Right? So when you reach beyond the veil, you invite yourself into intuition. You invite yourself into the exercise of understanding. It's deep, but I would say it takes courage. Courage is necessary when you want to exist in a state of allowing, in a state of understanding, in a state of asking. And we want to use verbs and words that propel us to the present and to the future. Because past tense is okay when you're reflecting, when you need to remember something. But to make it incorporated in all your language, the can'ts, the shouldn'ts, the wouldn'ts, the dids, the done. We're not doing that. We're doing. Let's be forward. Let's go forward. Let's move forward in active language and active seeking. We've lived too long on autopilot, an automatic life. A life where we've allowed people to incorporate their belief as our understanding, where we've followed like a little lemming headed towards a cliff. Yeah. You know, the masters, like Buddha, like Confucius, like Krishna, all of these people came here to shake it up, to stand, to make a stand, in compassion and courage and vulnerability, in an exercise of understanding to allow you to see beyond the veil, to allow you to lift the chains of this vessel. And once you begin to put the body into play, once you begin to let the body take the back seat, then your soul is in control. When that dove descended down from heaven in that proverbial picture that we see with Jesus getting the Holy Spirit, it came down and landed on his crown and went into his body. That's how your soul views you, from above, the crown down, and it sees the world around you. And you can breathe in and suck it in and hide it, but you can't. Because then you're fighting what you are. Then you're fighting yourself. Then you have triggered this body's mechanism to believe it is the conscious controller. Your body believes it's the conductor of this train, and it is not, because we are on a track that we have already planned. That's where you understand. You want to understand how power is infinite, how power is omnipresent, how it's omniscient, how it knows the beginning and the end, is because we already agreed to it, my friend. We are just exercising choice now as we speak. So when you get upset, when you get down, be more vulnerable to what's around. Be more vulnerable to those things that are in your life. Look to synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences in your life, the 333s, the 1111s, the snap of my fingers, the fact that I say something that you just dreamed last night, or the fact that you see a car drive by and it has a license plate of where you're about to move. Those all have meaning. That's the soul seeking itself. That's the soul talking to you. The body's on autopilot. The soul's not. The soul never was. The soul never will be. The only thing that severs the soul is the skin. It's the veil. It's this entity that we live in. And remember, choose your words. Tone, emotion, attitude, because they choose you. As you choose a word, it exhibits that very choice in your life. Like I always tell you, your DNA hears what you say, and your body, once your body's in control, your body will take you down a road, a bumpy one. This year 2017 is a year of undertaking, a year of vulnerability, literally a year of groundbreaking. But when you break ground, groundbreaking is backbreaking. It is work that needs to be done. If you want to live in virtue, if you want to live in vulnerability, if you want to live moment to moment, you have to own it. You have to be the creator, the destinator of your direction. And then you have to understand your direction is laid out for you. So what I wanted to go over as well, I'm going to talk about what's happening right now. And I want to say, I live to appreciate the quirks that make myself unique. I learn to accept my flaws and all, because I've designed these. When you realize that you were your designer, the only thing that was unexpected is the experience that you're going through now. But every choice was made, every voice was spoken. You want to learn to appreciate these quirks? Guess what you got to do? You got to be vulnerable. You got to embrace that interesting, unique side of yourself. And when you begin to see yourself, when you begin to express this love of self, you begin to trigger a release of these troubled memories of the past. You begin to allow yourself to see where you're judging yourself. Because as you judge, you limit. And the only thing that compensates for judgment is forgiveness or love. So as you begin to love yourself, you can't judge yourself. So as you begin to awaken this vulnerability inside of you, like I did in my video when I shared something, there's a piece of my past with you that makes me vulnerable because I'm trusting you. I'm giving you information about myself so you don't have to hear it from someone else. I'm telling you something that you can identify with, and if you can, you know what that feels like to say something like that. But if I don't do it, and if I don't stand and do it, it doesn't get done. So if I stand up and I express vulnerability and comfort with being my awkwardness, perhaps I will give you the ability to see that it's okay. That's what living by example means. It doesn't mean I'm not going to fail. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to fall. It's about how I get up. You see, it's not about whether I was successful. It's about my walk. It's about what happened when I failed and I fell down. Did I stay down? No. I got up, dusted myself off, and walked forward. You are already authentic. You are already real. You are the source. You and your experience is not separate from source. So when people are talking about this awakening, this ascension, you were never not awake. You were never separate. You just are in a dirty glass, so you can't see the life water inside of it. All you're doing right now is learning how to clean that glass from the inside out, so that when people look at you, they can see that life-giving water straight through. You're crystal clear, you're vulnerable, you've accepted yourself, you are no longer standing in judgment. You are walking, talking in your truth. You are exercising your exponential enthusiasm to be here and to be a creator, no matter what. Whether you have the right job or the right person or the right car or the right role in life does not matter, because you are all. You are never separate from the source. Your soul doesn't judge. Your soul doesn't hate. Your soul doesn't experience pain. Your soul is only experience in itself. It is just growth. Your soul looks to growth. The only thing your soul knows about is separation. Separation that is self-induced from the source because of the consciousness of becoming in the body. When you went through that birth canal, everything about source became separate because you became an intelligent, life-bearing vessel. You jumped into a dirty glass. And now you've gone through a process of cleansing, cleaning, and clearing this glass, so that when you stand before yourself, you can see who you are. The truth resides within. You are the tools that you need. When you find yourself, you will find love. When you trust yourself, you will find truth. You will find safety in self. You will find security in understanding what these sensations are. When you embrace the fact that you are a sensitive, self-evolved being that is sensing those things around you, and that the 3D is not your enemy. The 3D is the exercise of this soul coming down from the crown and experiencing that as it drips down your body and experiences everything around you. The body's not your enemy. It's just a vehicle. You can speed in it, you can neglect it, or you can take care of it, keep it crystal clear. You can wash it, wax it, maintenance it, right? As I say, don't drive it like you stole it. Drive it like you own it, because you do, right? When we look at layers of life, when we look at how vulnerability changes you and how the inner child, as we say, is actually the soul trying to awaken inside of a vessel that is a veil that has kind of separated you from this self of source. When you start seeing a spiritual awakening, all you're doing is you're remembering, right? When you recognize this restlessness in your life through synchronicity, when you start hearing that inner call that you've ignored, when questions arise like, what am I here to do? Who am I here to love? Is this my twin? Is this my soulmate? Is this my life partner? Is this my life song? Is this my life purpose? And you begin to feel that fluidity of moving forward. You get the interconnection of source back with your soul. And then that electrifies you. It's like a light exists, it's plugged into the wall, it's ready for power and is ready to light up the world, but you have to flick the switch. but it was never unplugged. It was always sitting there, plugged in, able to receive full power. You just didn't know you could cut on the light switch. So we're looking for that light switch, and that's what 2017 is about. We have to build from the ground up. We have to understand the layers that are involved, and that's why we're going to be talking about all of these things. I'm not a huge proponent of Osho, but there's one thing that he said that I feel is really, really cool. The musician is very close to the mysticism, far closer than the philosopher, because music is meaningful without any words. It is meaningful simply because it rings some bells in your heart. It creates a synchronicity between you and itself. When your heart starts to resonate in the same way, when you start pulsating in the same way, you have incorporated the soul into song. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to wake up. We're trying to find those levels of vulnerability. We're trying to awaken this inner wisdom that is already there. If you don't have a sacred space, create one. If you don't sup with your ancestors, start doing it. Start asking them for their help. And you have to do, I'm talking about a prayer where you say, I want to have the insight from my ancestors to help lay out this path so that I can live a tried and true life. Give me insight from your experience, from where you're at in this life. Begin to do mini retreats. Begin to seek yourself. Understand that life is a maze. And if you can get yourself above it, you will be able to see the correct path to walk. That's why they walk labyrinths in many mazes and things. Because they're training the mind. They're training that process of learning that you already know the way out. And you can see it. It's just a matter of walking the path. And then you got to start embracing yourself, right? You got to start reconnecting with this masculine and feminine energy, understanding that you have the embodiment of both, a balance. Breathe in, you got your, yes, feminine energy. Breathe out, you've got your masculine energy. Don't forget the body balance of your chakras is based on the moon and the sun, the emotional and the practical, right? Then you have to understand that play, you got to have playtime. You got to get excited. You got to be attuned with intuition by using activities like imagination, dialogue, drawing, acting out scenes, drum circles. Do you know that dancing around a fire in a drum circle, doing that back and forth, left to right movement, that generates DMT? You don't even have to buy it. You don't even have to go somewhere. You can generate that shit yourself. You can be on point. Stimulating left, right, left, right, left, right, doing that dance, getting involved. All you got to do is just do the dance. You came equipped with everything. You don't need ayahuasca. You don't need DMT. It's inside of you. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next episode, about triggering those chakras that are important to this understanding, right? Learn to bless yourself. Learn to be the blessing. Learn to experience those things. Learn that you are the link to I am. I am all things. I am everything. I am part of the great I am, because the I am is everything that made me. Stop separating yourself from source, because you're the one doing it. And when you pollute that glass of water with toxins, you pull yourself away from source. You begin to feel pressure. You begin to allow the body to take back control. So you need to fast. If you can medically do it, you need to fast 1 day a month. You need to do fasting of technology, fasting of speaking. You need to do fasting of food. You're talking about putting the body into check. You're talking about listening to the stillness of the small voice that your heart is speaking from source. Your source will speak to you, my friends, not just through synchronicities, but through the direct contact inside of yourself. That little whisper inside of yourself will nudge you into a conscious state of being that is mindful. And then learn that every moment you are alive is a meditation. Every moment you give thanks, every moment you realize that this breath that you breathe is your connection to life itself, you are meditating. And that what's going on beneath the surface is just this source being itself, trying to awaken you, trying to seek out that deep dormant destination inside of yourself. I mean, after all, we use the term soul as as if we're all separate. As if it gives them a special awareness. If it makes us that lamp on the table, but understanding that source is the light, source is the electricity, because without that balance, it will not work. Without God, there is no universe. Without the universe, there is no God. Without feelings, there is no understanding. Without understanding, you can't feel. So you need to connect with this inner wisdom. Mindfulness, awakening you as each moment comes forward to you, and learn that the language of the soul is love, baby. The language is listening to love, experiencing love. Every time you take a breath, you're breathing in the spirit, you're breathing the Umbelini, you're breathing in the Shakti, you're breathing in the prana. That's why my man Ralph Smart always says, get you some of that good ass prana, baby. Because you're breathing it in, you're breathing in life essence, you're breathing in a connection into the source outside of you, taking it in, crown on down, from the nose to the toes, right? Every time you get goosebumps, like right now, that's goodness, that's godness, that is a synchronicity. That's your eyes being opened without seeing. So, we're going to work on the chakras. We are going to seek the chakras. We are going to breathe with purpose. We are going to inhale with intuition. We are going to exhale with exercise and education. Exponentially exhale. We're going to allow that which we breathe in to take fire and flight inside of us and to stimulate that intuitive self of that we are connected with Source. We're going to be more mindful. We are going to understand that listening to the soul's inner wisdom will give us expansiveness and acceptance and peace and increase you into a higher state of sensitivity. It will allow you to truly utilize this three-dimensional vehicle. The reason why people are trying to jump out of the 3D to 4D to 5D, number one reason is because you haven't truly learned to experience the fullness of the 3D yet. You haven't learned that sex, self, intuitiveness, inner wisdom, all these are ways to connect to Source. And touch. When you hug somebody, you're doubling down with some deep inner love and wisdom. So begin to share. Dare to share. Be vulnerable. Receive the idea in yourself that you are Source. You are not disconnected. You're just designed to be in both worlds. And once you learn that, and once you learn to accept this transcendence, you can go forward. You can open that mind and body experience. Then you can truly learn to experience the three-dimensional body as it was meant to be. An instrument, a tool to express the sensitivities and the synchronicities of the Source operating through a select exponential development of exercise and awareness and becoming. The soul is important. Let me ask you something. When you jump into the ocean and you're swimming, are you aware of all the life that's around you? Probably not. You're probably not aware that there's fish right underneath you. You're probably not aware. You don't think about it. And when you're swimming in the ocean, are you thinking about how relaxing it is, or are you thinking about how the water feels on your skin? Next time you jump in a pool, or next time you're in a shower, start to understand that when you do this, feel the water on your body. Smell it, sense it, feel it, touch it. Allow it to become exponential, an experience. Put it in the present. Do it in a mindful way. And then begin to see that alone will open up your perception. It will open up your eyes. It'll make that path before you much more present. So over the 2017 course, we're going to talk about many things. I'm going to do the drawing this week. I'm excited about that. And today's message is just a message of reminders, of motivators of what's coming forward for us in 2017, where soul and Source is guiding me to guide us. Remember, this is your channel. Be involved, comment, share, spread it around. If you are not subscribed, put some energetics involved in this. For you to receive, you must give. and vice versa. So by subscribing, by becoming involved, by being an active participant in this action, if you are gaining from it, if you are feeling that you are learning something, you are now in a receptive mode, in a giving mode, in a receiving mode. We are now exchanging energy like it's meant to be. And that's how it works, energy exchange. So this is your channel. This is your purpose. This is our purpose. We're standing side by side, looking into the stillness of the night, and we are bringing a light with us. And we're going to shine it in those little dark spots that need to be seen. And I'm going to do it to myself as well. Peace, light, and love. I will see you on the other side.